On this episode, we talked about Blizzard trying to clean up their Twitch chat. We discussed podcasting, Twitch streaming, and more. Let's start the GNOME train.
Welcome to FrazlCast, a podcast by a Blizzard fan gnome about World of Warcraft and geeky stuff. I promise you, they do talk about the World of Warcraft. They just go off the rails sometimes.
Hello, Internet. It is Frazley the Awesome Gnome. Each week I am joined by awesome people from Azeroth and beyond. Let's use my customized ultra-safe transporter to head on over to meet up with this week's guests. So it's time to go 88 miles per hour as I am joined by Ali of Dungeon Fables and Techie Taco of Lagging Balls. Oops.
Go home, Frazley, you're drunk.
Getting the bleep button ready already. That's fantastic. It's going to be a good show. I like it. Good.
I don't know what the you're saying.
10 out of 10 intro. I love it. Perfect. We're not even live for 30 seconds and he's already blushing. I love it. So good. I love this show.
Oh, man.
Well, you know what time it is?
It's time to go around the table.
Great idea. So let's do that.
Well, I have renewed interest in mount runs lately because on Christmas Day, I actually got Onyxia.
Nice.
After running it maybe 7 times the week I did Onyxia on my show, and I finally got it. So that was exciting. And then 2 days later, I got Death Charger's Reigns.
Wow.
Which was also awesome. I'm like, oh, this is amazing. Maybe I'll get Invincible. And of course I haven't, but it kind of renewed my interest in going for mounts. So like I've been doing Invincible at ICC, I've been doing Dragon Soul, but that has been fantastic. Enjoying the holidays, and now that's kind of done. So working on getting back into the swing of things and podcasting again, and it's good stuff. Oh, and as you added for the show notes, actually right here, I got in the mail the WoW Diary book.
Ooh. I've got the PDF version, but that looks amazing. And I've got a link in the show notes to the WoW Diary, so it's definitely an amazing book.
It smells like a textbook. It smells like a brand new textbook, except fancier for some reason. And I'm trying to find like a good picture to show you like a quality. The quality of this thing is amazing. The pictures are all glossy and it's so pretty and shiny and it's hefty. Like that's a serious read right there.
Well, and that was one of the things that was interesting to watch on Kickstarter was John really was looking at the detail. He wanted it to be an amazing book and agonized over a lot of stuff. So the fact that the pictures look good shows the detail he put into that.
And it really does. Like that is a quality book. Like I'm really glad I got it and I can't wait to read it. I think it's great he did that. So, and we got to interview him, so it's even better. I'm excited.
With what's been going on with Blizzard, that was an interview that changed my perspective on game development. I had heard from different developers, but to talk with one really helped me have a better understanding and helped me understand that it's not as easy as it looks. I mean, no. Pat on the last BNN said that, no, it wasn't the last BNN, it was the rolling restart with a row, said that, yeah, everything has like a 5 to 6 month window when they get feedback. And we're in that lump right now for the content to be coming out real soon.
Yeah.
Well, in Techie, did you get any books in your stockings or anything like that?
No, I didn't know if you need to give a proper intro to her or not, so I was just like giving that space there. But man, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous of that book. I had no idea it was out already. Is it out or is it because it's part of the Kickstarter?
I was part of the Kickstarter.
Okay.
I think I heard or read somewhere that once it gets out and the Kickstarter books get sent out, eventually then he can get it on Amazon.
I do want to buy it the moment it comes out for sure.
You should.
Yeah.
And pre-orders are up on Amazon for that now.
Oh, really? That's what I'm doing tonight. And I do also want to throw out like a huge kudos because that I remember when I saw the I think it was in Discord, actually, the announcement that you got to interview him. Like I had to read it like 3 times to be like, wait, is this the same guy that's on Frazley's cast. Not to say that you couldn't get it, but it was just one of those things where it's like worlds are colliding. And I was so impressed. And so it was like one of those things where it's like, I'm so happy for my community. So it's super awesome.
That was one of those that I messaged him in September saying, hey, would you like to come on the show? And I was thinking, okay, I'm not going to get anything back.
Right.
And they replied back, I'm like, and I was like, okay, I need somebody with me. And that's really where I picked Allie, because I was like, Allie's been through all these dungeons and Allie will be able to find details. And then I talked to some people in the community to get questions and talked with like, what is some good stuff to ask? So it was a huge community effort for that interview.
Awesome. To answer your question, no, I did not get any books in my stockings. I have been thinking about going back and rereading, well, not rereading, but reading the Illidan and the Jaina books. I haven't read those before.
I haven't either. I have the Illidan one waiting for me.
But I'm also one of those people that I feel like I can't read more than one thing at a time. And so I am in the middle of the Wheel of Time series, and that's a 15-book adventure, and I'm slowly but surely getting through it. So I don't know. Maybe I just might give up on it for a bit and go read other stuff.
Well, maybe like, whatever book you're working on now, like finish that book up and kind of put it on hold, go read Tides of War, which I did on an audiobook recently, and it was amazing. And then continue your series a little bit, and then take a break and go do Illidan. Just don't do it mid-book.
Did Christy Golden read that book as well? Because I know she's starting to do her own audiobooks, and I couldn't remember if that was one of them or not.
I don't think she's gotten to Tides of War yet.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe I should read it or listen to it.
That would be really cool, though.
I loved, what was the Before the Storm? I like that a lot. Yeah.
There is a Tides of War narrated by Derek Jacob, but it's not the Tides of War for WoW.
Oh,
really?
Tides of War is an audiobook, and it was narrated by Justine Iyer. It's not audible.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I keep thinking about Before the Storm, because the guy that did Before the Storm audiobook is Anduin from WoW.
Yeah.
So yeah. What's up, Fraz?
Well,
catch you at a bad time.
I've been having a not a cold, but just like mucus and stuff like that. So I finally took Mucinex today. I had a thing over the weekend where I posted on my gaming Twitter that I was taking Zycam because someone said I'm going to be on stream. Someone in my family saw my gaming Twitter, told my entire family I had the flu. I was like, no, I'm taking Zycam as a precaution. And it's like, I do have a little bit of a congestion, but again, I don't think I have a cold. I'm just trying to be proactive, trying to not, because I got to have that
illustrious, amazing podcast voice.
So I hung out with the family, saw the Chinese Lantern Festival again, saw that last year. Amazing what they can do with like fabric and turn it into like lanterns. And like there was a contortionist. There was a lot of fun with that. And we played Apples to Apples Sour Edition. It is Cards Against Humanity, but family friendly.
So I have like the base Apples to Apples game. How is Sour Edition different than the base game?
So like the PG version?
Yeah, it's PG. Like everybody gets cards and then like goes with the category. The judge picks the best card and they get the card. The worst card spins a sour apple, and whatever it lands on, they have to do. So like you can't talk for a turn. And if you're the judge, you can't talk for a turn. So you can have like an interpreter do stuff, or you can mime stuff. You can also put in 2 cards. One of the fun ones is you have to put a card down before everybody else. So your card could be bad, and then you could end up getting the sour apple again. If you've wanted to play Cards Against Humanity with your family, but Cards Against Humanity is not
family friendly.
No, great fun, but not with my friends.
Right. Well, actually, I wonder, could you play Cards Against Humanity, but whenever people said stuff, it would be
just hold the button down, pretty much.
Yeah. And then I watched Grumpy Cat's Worst Christmas Ever, which it's the second year I've watched it, and I love it. I mean, we were fading, so I didn't finish it. I know how it ends, and it's just one of those. It's becoming a family tradition to watch Grumpy Cat, and it's a lot of fun.
I've never seen it.
It's a Lifetime movie, but unlike the Lifetime movies, no one gets killed or anything like that. And I prefer Hallmark over Lifetime, and I don't like Hallmark, but that's another podcast. Surprisingly, I do love A Series of Unfortunate Events, which has season 3 on Netflix.
I saw that last night. I'm so excited.
It is so good. And in fact, the 3rd season, I have to say, might actually be its best because we're getting some like character development. Yeah, I don't want to go any more than that.
Man, big words.
Well, I'll move on to that because I don't want to like go anything because it's just so good. But I saw Mary Poppins, the new one, so good. I would recommend watching the first one because there's a lot of like when you're watching the second one, like they allude different things, and like your heart just like you leave the theater all like happy and like I can face the day. Having too much fun.
Yeah,
You're
you are.
having way too much fun.
Go home, Frazley. You're drunk.
I'm already home, so
Then keep drinking.
I've tried Techie. It doesn't work.
I've got water.
That's a form of drinking.
So the reason I'm having so much fun with all these different effects that you hear is I got my Go XLR finally. So I've been excited. This was the thing that Kick Tripod's been teasing for so many months. And like Pat has one, Scott Johnson has one. All these streamers have it. I've just been like, I want it. And I'm loving it. I mean, I can do like effects like I can sing like T-Pain.
Oh my God.
Please, dear internet, clip that on Twitter or Twitch, please. I need that. I need that on loop. I want that as my ringtone.
I'm gonna make a note of that. Make sure it gets clipped.
Thank you.
There's like a lot of cool things, like it can do audio and route it. And actually, it took down my dropped frames considerably. So like everything is going through it. I'm still working on like the EQ and different settings, but I love it. It really is that ultimate audio device that I've wanted for my setup. If you're recording multiple tracks for a podcast and you're not using Squadcast, it might not be the thing for you. It works in certain cases. So far, it has been worth it. And I'm just like so giddy. I gotta warn you, there are a lot of memes coming up.
Seriously, I just want to sit back and just let it go. Just let him just keep going, pushing buttons and see what happens.
Let it go, turn away the storm. Okay.
You're killing me, Fraz. You're killing me.
I've been using it a lot because I've been streaming. Like there's a couple days I did like 7-hour stream. I've just been like doing my streams as the way to kind of get away from the family for a little bit. I mean, just kind of relax. And it's been a lot of fun. So using the GoXR, and they've been getting all the fun stuff that I've been doing on there. Got my Dark Iron Paladin up to 99.
Ooh.
From what? Does it start out at 20? 30?
20.
Okay.
So it's now up to 99. And it's in Legion content. I just got my Ashbringer. So Red Pelly Jill, I know exactly why Ashbringer is amazing because it's just like so cool. I was like,
Did you make that noise too when you got it?
yeah.
I like it. Good job.
I think I didn't make it on stream, but it was a lot of fun. And last night, I think I was annoying Michael on the Blue Recluse because every Wednesday we do a leveling stream for their gnomes. I was like playing around with different effects and like
Having a lot of fun, and he was like, oh boy.
So Manx, my gnome hunter, is now level 22. And yeah, you can check us out on the Blue Recluse Twitch every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Awesome.
Lots and lots of fun.
Cool.
Streaming can be a lot of fun, but sometimes streaming can be a little toxic. And it can be hard with chat. Thankfully, right now, Twitch has been amazing chat. I don't think I've had a toxic Twitch. I mean, all of you in chat, you're amazing. I mean, it's always fun. But Blizzard has had issues with their Twitch chat. And Alessandro brings up an article. It's kind of interesting. I want to get your takes on it. Blizzard wants to try to clean up the chat for their different events. And they want you to link your Battle.net account to your Twitch. And then you can chat on Blizzard streams. What are your initial thoughts on that? And then we'll get into some of the things that I've heard that are probably the pros and cons.
I admittedly have not read this article yet, but I read the header for it and that this was happening. And maybe I'm just not seeing the full picture because of that, but I don't know if this will encourage people enough to be less toxic on Twitch. Yes, it means there'll be a slight bit less anonymity with it, but really, if they're going to say these things, they're going to say it whether their Blizzard account is attached to it or not, sadly.
That was one of the things I was wondering is how would they implement this? I mean, a couple things is like, what if somebody wants to just watch a Blizzard Twitch stream, like Overwatch or World of Warcraft or Q&A or whatever, and they want to comment on something, but they can't because they don't have a Blizzard account? Like, I guess that's question number one. Question number two, would it be like your actual email address, like your Battle.net, or would it be like the character name? And I agree with Allie. Like, if it's just your character name, what's to stop them? If they're this toxic in Twitch, they're going to be this toxic in game too. I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. I was about to say I wouldn't care myself, but at the same time, maybe I would. I don't know. I know it's definitely better than the whole like using your own name in the forums, but at the same time, I feel like it's really close to that same thing, you know? So,
well, and Twitch is a different platform, and by adding another step, you'll be making it harder for people to want to engage. And it's one of those that I think, in a way, it could actually lead to less engagement on Twitch. I mean, it's already hard to watch a Blizzard Twitch because they're not moderating it.
Right.
But I think it would discourage people And the forums is interesting because, yeah, the forums can be toxic. I mean, there are great people in the forums, but sometimes people are there. And that one, you needed a WoW subscription to post on most of the forums. So if it's not stopping it on the forums, how is it going to stop it on Twitch?
Yeah. When it comes, it just depends on the stream I'm watching. So like some streams, the Twitch chat is a lot of fun to either read to be a part of the community or to kind of like see the reactions. Like the one in particular during the Overwatch Yule log is a lot of fun to watch because it will start like slowing down. And then the moment any of the people in the chat or in the video move or do anything, like it just goes crazy. So like that's a lot of fun and it's not too toxic. But like if you watch it during like the developer Q&As, it's just horrendous. They're all classic this and classic that and, you know, blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. I guess it just depends on the stream. So like most streams, I'll just turn off the Twitch chat. I won't even care.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like any of the chat that I've ever been on has been chat on other Discords, if during a Q&A or other discussions outside of it. But yeah, I'm not watching big Twitchers with their chat. And like Dravi posted on Twitter that people can still make throwaway battle.net accounts.
Right. And
they can tie them to Twitch and they can make throwaway Twitch accounts. So it's not like,
Yeah.
Like I could almost see it. I think it would be worse, but I could almost see it if they said you had to have a Blizzard game on your account to chat on Twitch. But then that would really be segmenting who would be in your chat.
Yeah, I don't even know if that would still prevent anything. Because I mean, again, you can just start what's to prevent people from getting a WoW. Like, I don't know. I don't think it makes that barrier of entry a little bit harder, but it's not impossible. I don't know. I think I kind of see what they're going for, but I don't think this is the solution that they're. I think it's another step forward. You know, they like, for instance, the whole Overwatch ranking system of like after an Overwatch match and you like rank your other teammates and stuff like that. I feel like that is a great system that helped push the community to get out of that toxicity, but it took a lot of steps to get to that point and trial and error. And I feel like this is just another step in the trial and error process. I don't feel like this, but I could be completely wrong.
I appreciate that they're trying. I mean, I like the idea of their end goal. We could all use less toxicity in our life, but I don't know if this will be the way to attain it. Like you were saying, it may not be enough.
I also wonder, is it one of those that because they didn't start from the beginning with clear moderation and clear like rules set in place, is the problem out of control? I mean, it's one of those, once you let everything go, it's hard to rein it in. I mean, because to be frank, one of the amazing things I'm impressed at is that like with Like and Balls, how many people you have in your Discord. It is not a dumpster fire. I mean, like I've seen Discords that have been a dumpster fire, and I'm like, but that's because I believe you've set clear rules from the beginning. I mean, and you've really worked to keep it civil.
Asseteers in the chat says they should put it in sub mode, and that way, if they say something negative, they have to pay for it literally. I think it's a great idea. But I mean, of course, if they make that decision, then you'd have all the repercussions of they're looking for money at Twitch, and I don't know. I agree, but I don't know if they'll ever do that.
Though the money could go to the team, so you'd be subbing for the right, like kind of with the Overwatch League access pass. Chat is part of it. The money's not going to Blizzard. The money's going to the team. But yeah, that would still bring a lot of issues.
Yeah, like how as you were mid explaining that, you were like, yeah, that'll still bring issues.
Yeah, and no one will ever be happy with anything. I mean, already with this, I've seen everybody who's been upset with things. One of the reasons I brought up is, again, it's one of those, any community needs to be careful with how they're developing. Like on my Twitch and Discord, I realized that I have people verify their email to chat in Twitch and chat on Discord, because I've actually had people I've had to ban. Thankfully, not a lot, but I've had to ban a few people. One, I just had to say, you're a great person. I just don't think you're a fit with the server. But I've tried to be very careful. There were those forums in the early internet where like the mods were like admins who took control of everything, and it's one of those, how much control do you get? And it's a hard call for mods.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And like, thankfully, I've not had any of the essay writing bots appear or the sex dating bots appear. I mean, like I saw one of those. I think All Things Azeroth had a sex dating bot appear. Like, thankfully, Toasty used the banhammer on that one.
I don't know if it's just now starting to target Warcraft community Discords that are bigger, but like there was actually one on the Warcast Discord over the weekend, I think. And it got banned like pretty quickly because I'm a moderator and a couple other, but the other moderator caught it right away. It just seems to be an influx of it lately. I don't know why.
Yeah, we've been getting a few of those in Lagging Balls as well.
Yeah,
I have not had any of those, but I guess that maybe they just overlook me because I'm a gnome, and I know that by now, by saying all this, I'm gonna have some person like sending a bot at my way and all that, and it's like, oh no. when I started putting the podcast number out there was one day where somebody put my number out there to 1,000 people. I was getting like, I had some angry people being like, what the I mean, literally, that was the voicemail I got from somebody. I was like, what? I'm sorry, I didn't call you. And it was just,
So wait, you put your number out on the internet?
well, it was the number for the podcast, but I put out there for voicemails. Like anybody can call the number,
gotcha.
and somebody used that number as like to robocall people. I kept getting like, you are a I can't believe that you're I can't believe that you're doing
Rubber chicken.
yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, speaking of all things Azeroth, Allie, you had something really cool happen to you, and I believe it's the 14th. You'll be back there again. You are an interim co-host on All Things Azeroth.
Yeah, I am, and it still feels weird. And thank you. It doesn't feel real sometimes. It's been pretty amazing so far, and still just humbled and an honor. And I still, when we're getting ready for the show, like, we're in the recording channel and Medros and Toasty are just like chatting away. And I'm just like quickly going through all of my like notes I'm supposed to talk about and everything, and freaking out that I'm going to like do it wrong or whatever and not mess up, because this is like such a big show and I don't want to mess up. But the guys have been great, and it's been really fun, and I miss it. Like, we went on holiday break for the last 2 weeks, so I'm excited for this upcoming Monday to start again.
It's amazing. I realized it's been like 3 weeks since All Things Azeroth. I'm like, Monday nights, what do I do? So I mean, that's why I was streaming Monday night, because it's like I don't have anybody to listen to.
It's a double-edged sword being a super big fan like that, being able to all caught up on your streams and podcasts, and you're like, give me more stuff.
Yeah, I need more stuff. So what is the best thing that has happened to you since you started?
Being on it. I don't really know how else to answer that. Just the whole experience. It's interesting to go from a show that's scripted, like my show. I've guested enough on other shows that it's kind of helped me find my confidence a little bit and find my voice a little bit to do it live. But now that I'm consistently on a show doing it live, like I've learned a lot about myself, and I'm trying to improve every week. And it's been a confidence builder to like know like I can actually do this stuff live. Like, I'm a little bit better than I thought in my mind, at least enough for Medros not to kick me off yet. And it's pretty amazing.
I just wanted to say, Allie, I think it's pretty awesome. I feel like you have a great personality for podcasting, but like anytime I hear your name or see your name in Discord, I immediately hear your voice from like, hey guys, Allie here. And it's just like, it was always this perky, like, like this like easy go, not easy going, but like, I don't know, just comforting voice.
I'm easy. If
you have that personality and you have that like fun loving rhythm, and I don't know, I just wanted to give you kudos. Like, they obviously saw something in you, and you should feel really good about that. So
is your goal tonight to make each of us blush?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Techie made me blush in a pre-show, and it was one of those like, he said something like, wow, because like I've enjoyed getting to know you, Techie, and it's one of those. It's been fun seeing you on like at LBS and things like that, and it's one of those. I think at some point,
Hey Thorn, and this, I think you should make Techie a co-host on Laggy Balls.
Again, I need that clipped.
So you can send it to them, right?
No.
But thank you, Techie. That means a lot to me, and I appreciate that.
Okay, so just full clarity, like that was when, and I told you this pre-show too, like I was really excited to be on the show, not only to be on Frazley's show again, because I had so much fun last time, but when I found out you were on, like I was also really excited, because I was like, oh cool, I actually get to interact with her, except for just not on Twitter or social media or whatever. And the thing that I mentioned, and just so like the show knows that I mentioned before to Frazley, was like how professional his setup is, and like when he does the invitations and the scheduling, and down to like my degrees in production, so like I know all this stuff and he does it right. Like, this is what professionals do on like the high level of newscasts and production houses, and it's to that extreme, and it's always like, whoa, holy cow, like I thought I was doing my best in this medium. And then Frazley comes along with his, 2-foot gnome just walking along like with this. I don't know. It was just, I'm just always blown away by it. Always blown away by it.
Like, that's one of the things that I'm excited for you, Allie, being on All Things Azeroth. Like, I loved All Things Azeroth. And then I was like, hey, I want to start podcasting because I love what they do. Until I realized all the work that goes into it. Being able to be part of a a group of a co-host, that is an amazing bonding experience. And that's one where like just the skills you must be picking up from that. That's exciting. I mean, it's been one like I've gleaned those from people that have been on here, that like I pick up the skills when they're on here. It's another thing to build that bond with people day in, day out. I've enjoyed that on the GNOME stream with Michael. Michael and I are growing together our chemistry, and we're having a lot of fun. And I'm singing for Michael. Oh, I'm singing, Michael. Love you, Michael. That's the one thing I miss on a show like this, is that bonding and that chemistry. And Madros is somebody that, like, the years they've been in podcasting, they have built up so much experience. When I heard that you're on there, I was like, this is awesome. This is like, Allie will one day be on stage, and there'll be like lights. It'll be like, welcome to All Things Azeroth with Allie and Madros and stuff like that. I mean, just
That's going to require probably about 2 bottles of rum. So I can't guarantee I'll be sober.
That'll make it even better. Even better.
You know, a lot of liquid courage.
Can you imagine a world where like all these Blizzard podcasts get together for like a convention, not like BlizzCon or the conventions, or not all the podcasts happen before the BlizzCon, but just like I don't know, where people actually come to pay to see us live. That'd be so fun. Not just, I shouldn't say us live, but just like see, like that would be awesome.
I would pay to be like a person in that audience.
Yeah.
I'd probably be too scared to participate in it.
because every live event I've been to, I've been amazed. Like, I saw last December a podcast that was performing live, and they did this audio drama, and like you see them in front of the mics, and they're doing it. Like, the energy in that room was just like so palpable. It was
Right.
amazing. And seeing something live, whenever I get that experience, that would be an amazing thing to have a convention for podcasters where they each do their shows, and that'd be cool. Like see them,
Right.
but live shows are hard to.
It's true.
Like, I know, like, World of Podcasts is amazing.
So, Allie, how did you overcome the fear and that little voice in your head to be a co-host?
That's a voice I try to shut up every single week. It's come with a lot of hard work because I don't have that confidence, and my self-esteem's not the greatest, and imposter syndrome is a horrible thing to deal with. But I've been doing this for 6 months now, and the response to my show and people ask me to guest on their shows just has helped me a lot. It's given me that confidence and that courage. And, you know, when you have fellow podcasters coming alongside encouraging you, like you, Frazley, like you are one of my biggest supporters outside of me and my husband. And it's that positivity and encouragement that kind of helps me kind of squash that voice down and allows me to kind of keep going when I question my ability to keep going.
And that's definitely one of the things that I found is finding those people who could be there for you. I mean, like, even one of my biggest supporters, Allie, I mean, just like whenever I'm like struggling with something, like I'll message on Discord, and like you always have the answer. It's like, thank you, Allie. As I said, it's like creative Red Bull.
Sometimes you already know. I think I just tell you you're right, and then you're like, okay, cool, thanks.
I just needed that validation. I just need to make sure that I'm not like thinking the wrong thing. It's like I've messaged you, Techie, saying, "Hey, I'm wondering, are my drop frames?" And we have not had it. We've only had 14 drop frames tonight. Hallelujah!
Woo!
We've only had 14 drop frames. But I messaged you about that. Just be like, I think this is why. Is this why? And you said yes. I was like, okay, thank you.
It's funny that you say that as your stream starts dropping frames.
The old gods heard you. Shush.
You're right.
Why would you say that, Frazley?
You're right. We just jumped to 327 drop frames at this point.
You summoned them. But it's true. I mean, Techie's got skills.
geez.
Like, we're sitting over here, like, you're being awesome, Techie. You're like, oh, you two are awesome. And Frazley and I are like, oh, you guys are awesome. Like, dude, Techie, like, what you have done with the Lagging Balls stream, and even just that layout, let alone helping them with sound issues and all that, like, it looks fantastic. Like, every week I just look at it, I'm like, oh, it's so cool. And you do so much, and you're doing a fantastic job. It's very noticeable. You're great.
Oh, stop.
The episode that you were on with Thorn, when like I heard that you were going to be on, like I was so excited, and I was like taking my dogs for a walk while I was listening to it, and I was like laughing out loud for like half of the walk. Like, it was just phenomenal. I loved it.
That was such a random episode. We were talking about a few things before, and like we just wanted to kind of catch up and make sure everything was in sync. And then we just kept like bantering back and forth because we were both off work for BlizzCon. He was staying home and I was home. So we just kind of were like, we'll just, shooting the breeze. And we just kept like making fun of each other and like doing these just like jokes or whatever. And then somehow got on the subject. He goes, "Hey, do you want to be on an episode of LB?" And then we started scheduling it out. And then I was like, let's just do it now. And he goes, okay. And then he didn't even know what software to use. So we're like jerry rigging this software together. And then I'm like a perfectionist. I don't know if you guys could tell or not, but like I always have to have everything perfect and I have to do everything like 4 different times and all this other stuff. And then we just like winged it. And then when we listen to the episode, like he sounds crystal clear and I'm all like distorted and loud. And I'm just like, oh, no. I think the banter was still there and the heart was still there. So I got over it pretty quickly, but it was a lot of fun. I'm glad you liked it. Thanks.
How long have you been part of the LBS streams?
I was just thinking about this the other day. I officially became the TNA I think it was midsummer of last year, mid to late summer. So about 6 months ago. And it wasn't until, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks after that. And it was actually my idea. When I first got the position, I basically gave them like this entire list of stuff that I wanted to do because they just had an idea of what the position would be, help out with social media, whatever. But then as soon as I got on board, I was like, these are the things I want to help make better. And the LBS was the top of my list. And so I told him, I was like, okay, here's the layout and here's what I can do. But then after a while, I was like, what if I just run it myself? So that really helped Thorn out because he's usually the one that does everything. He'll stream it from his computer, but then he has to moderate. He has to make sure if something gets moved and streamed, so he can't really focus on the stream. So for a while, I was just doing that for myself. Long story short, when I moved, I had to, because I didn't have as good a bit rate out here, I had to kind of give control back to him. But it's been about 6 months. And there's successes and there's failures and there's things I'm really proud of and there's things I could have done better. But, it's always something that just is creative and you keep working with it and building it until you get it to this place you never thought existed. So
what is the best thing that's happened to you since you started?
This is going to sound, I was trying to rack my brain before the show thinking about an answer to this question, and I didn't have one specific thing. And I guess my first answer is like the friendships I've made.
It's a good answer.
And I know that sounds incredibly cheesy, but man, it's so true. Like the community has really, I feel like the community has embraced. I was really nervous. I was so nervous whenever they announced it. And I was like, oh, everybody's going to hate me. And I don't know if I can live up to it and all this other stuff. But I don't know. I feel like everybody kind of was like, all right, cool. Here, let's do this. And the friendships I've made, there's so many people in Discord that I check, like literally before I even get out of bed in the morning, I'm on Discord checking to see what people are talking about, what happened throughout the night. Becoming friends with Fist and Thorn has been incredible. Getting to work on different projects. I got to work on a podcast called Zero Zugs Given, and they interviewed the voice for Sombra. And they asked me to do the overlay for that show. And that was an incredible experience. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a long-winded, I don't have a specific answer, but it's just being a part of this entire energy that LB brings to the table has been my favorite thing, I guess I should say.
For the record, I don't think anyone could ever hate you. Deal with it.
You'd be surprised.
I don't believe you. But anyways, continue, Frazley.
I've been impressed with the production quality. Like seeing the LBS streams, I'm like, I want to like replicate that. So like, it's one of those, I've been inspired by people. Like tonight, I was trying to do things I've seen other people do with like the cool, like transitions and music and stuff like that. So it's that seeing your skills. Like I'm always in amazement. And I think it was one of your streams that was like, you finally put an image in front of the webcam. So it's not just like a gray box. So you inspired me.
Oh, I get an idea and like, I want to make this thing. How do I make it? And then if I can't figure it out by myself, then I go to the internet. If you get an idea, if you see a vision in your mind of what you want the stream to look like, just try to figure it out. Like just get your hands dirty and play with knobs and play with levers. And what does this do? What does that do? And then what you'll do is you'll retain that information and it won't be applicable to what you're doing. But then later down the road, you'll be like, oh, I could do this thing that I didn't know how to do for this, So
along with the streaming, what do you love most about streaming?
I love the memories. So I grew up playing video games, just like all of us, but I grew up with like a little sister that always watched me play. Like she couldn't even read yet, but she would sit there and watch me play Final Fantasy VII. And she had no idea what was going on story-wise, but she can get an idea. She would always watch me play Zelda and Tony Hawk Pro Skater. So like for me, I get enjoyment out of people watching me play. The problem is that I get really focused on the game. I don't ever I have terrible streams. I think I have the worst streams ever because I'm never engaging to the audience. I don't sit there and talk to them. I don't feel like it's disingenuous, but at the same time, if somebody comes and watches me play and then just sits there and kind of zones out and watches and then starts a conversation, I feel like that's when I'm okay, cool, let's have a conversation. But for me, there's been so many times that when I raid with my raid team and we'll have somebody will say something just completely random and then we'll all lose it. You know what I mean? Those are my most cherished clips that I have on Twitch. Because I can go back and rewatch those memories. And that's my favorite thing, is going back and watching the first time we take down the boss, or the time somebody farted on stream and we all lost our minds. Like, those are my favorite things. And that's why I love to stream, is be able to go back and share those memories.
I had one of those, like, I was raging because a Horde player killed my APC. And it was one of those, I was like, I was on stream, so I actually played it up for the camera. It was fun because it was like I was on performance. I do find it that it is hard to find that balance of, like, how much do you talk with the stream, how much commentary do you do, and it is always helpful when chat is active, because then it gives you content. It helps you talk with them, and like different times, like shout out to Leo Wild. They have been watching a lot of my streams, and it's been helpful. Like, at certain points, like I'm struggling with something, like, hey, go over there. I'm like, oh, cool. And like, they help me get to where I need to go.
Yeah.
Well, I find it interesting because I've never heard a streamer express it that way, that it's a way to have those memories and to be able to look back on those memories. And I think that's a great way to approach it. And that's awesome.
No, it's a terrible way. It's a terrible way. Don't do that, because then you have a terrible stream like I do. You go back and you watch it, 30-second clips of this great content, and then the raid starts, and then the whole time I'm just like straight face staring at the monitor.
But you have video record of those great moments. Like, I personally, I don't have the strongest, best long-term memory, and I wish I did. And so, like, being able to have even just those small little moments before you do go stone face and whatever, like, that's special. Because in these games we play, like, it's those memories we make with your friends that keep us playing, keep us going, that we cherish forever. And streamers actually get to have that video record of it, which is awesome. And I've just never heard it approached that way. That's really cool.
That's one of the reasons I love podcasting, is these conversations, their history. I was listening back to FrazlCast episode 1, and I'm like, wow, I had that conversation with people. And just like remembering that memory of that conversation. And I had never thought about it in regards to gaming on Twitch.
I agree. The thing that I love about podcasting is the mobility of it. The fact that you don't have to be focused on a screen. You don't have to be at your computer or laptop or your phone or whatever. You can literally just plug in your ears, go work out or do chores or whatever you're doing, and still be a part of that conversation and be a part of that community. So it's passive, but at the same time, it is cultivated to your very interests. It's cultivated to Blizzard or to sports or to comedy or a very specific type of comedy or whatever it is you're in the mood for at that moment. And it's not only cultivated in a way that your content you're looking for, but it's also like engaging. It's kind of like finding that perfect subreddit and hearing these conversations about these things that you love in a very meaningful and very like engaging way.
And what is one hidden pitfall with streaming that prevents people from succeeding?
I would say, and they're talking about this in chat too, is the first and foremost is anxiety. Anxiety, you're going to fail. Anxiety, you're going to say the wrong thing, and then everybody's going to make fun of you. And you're not just in a classroom where blah, 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 everybody's going to tell the whole school. You're on the freaking internet, and people can clip it and then have it forever. Like, it's daunting. I remember the very first time I streamed, I played Division. I was so nervous. I didn't have a single viewer the whole time, but I was so scared. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So you're opening a huge door, opening yourself up to ridicule and all these other things. But at the same time, the rewards, like, it's not for everybody. So if you try it and it's not for you, that's it. But if you open yourself up to, like, if I didn't start with streaming that one time with Division, I wouldn't have known the software to use, which means I wouldn't have known how to edit it, which means I wouldn't have gotten the experience, which means I wouldn't have applied for the, you know what I mean? Like the TNA. So like, you just kind of just put yourself out there and then learn from what did you learn from each stream, stuff like that. But I think the other thing is, besides the anxiety, is also the lack of knowledge. You know, I didn't know what even to use. I had to look up, is XSplit better than OBS? Do I have to pay for it? What do I use? What's my bit rate? What's my audio at? What, all these different things. And that's gotten a lot easier over the years since when I started, because it's become more streamlined, but still at the same time, it's like the technical aspect. If you don't know, you want to put on the best performance, but at the same time, like, there's so many variables, like how do you set all this stuff up without knowing? So, and
that's been one of the things that I've found is not giving up. There have been like sometimes that like I haven't streamed because I thought, oh, I failed. And it's getting back in there. And like you were talking about earlier about, like, if you have a problem or you have a concept, different times that something didn't go right on the stream, like, how can I fix that? How can I make that better? and I will just like keep tinkering with it, keep working with it. I didn't think I was going to have these live shows back for a long time, but I kept working at it. And finally, I think I found an option now. I won't mention how many drop frames we have right now because I don't want the old gods to hear. So I'm never going to have a mistake ever again. But it was one of those finding ways to like get better at it. Because I mean, I have the anxiety. I mean, I have the anxiety every time I get on a podcast. I'm like, is what I have to say valuable? Is what I'm going to be saying something that's going to be good? And it's keeping at it. Like, it was weird. Again, listening back to episode 1, I'm like, I can't believe I said that. I can't believe I had audio like that. It was so weird. But I'm like, how could I have known if I hadn't started?
Yep, I agree.
One amazing thing is somebody who started a podcast recently, and I cannot believe it. They're up to episode 30 in 2 weekends. My short memory, I forget stuff all the time.
Frazley.
I should have said facepalm alert.
You need a very loud face palm alert or something on that board. It'll get a lot of use.
Shut up and stream.
Oh man.
But yeah, you started and like you had your 6-month anniversary in December. And episode 30 is coming up, and that is an amazing accomplishment. I mean, I still remember you messaging me saying, "Hey, you're starting a podcast." So like, I was so excited. I was excited to see where it goes. And like, you came out of the gate with quality. I was like, that was the amazing thing. I think, like, compared to me, your first episode, it sounds great.
I don't know. Not if you read, like, I haven't really gotten any bad reviews per se, but any reviews I've gotten so far that has been negative was about the sound quality of my first episode. Like, come on, people, it's my first episode. Gosh.
I am definitely not an audiophile, so it's one of those I've had to learn audio, and I'm still learning.
It's an art form. You get used to it. It's a refinement.
That's true.
I just want to say real quick, that's a huge accomplishment. 6 months, the 6-month mark is a huge accomplishment. The continuing to do it after you've done it the first time is a huge accomplishment. Like, and I just also want to say, like, the idea of your podcast, the fact that you not only are like, I'm the type of person that will, like, I'll get an idea for a podcast and then I'll be like, I'm going to do this thing and this is going to be awesome. And then I'll start thinking about all things, or I'll even start doing it, and then it'll just quickly fade. I'll be like, this is nothing new here. There's nothing that stands out, and it just quickly falls by the wayside. But that idea that you're actually like explaining the dungeons and not just strats, you're not explaining strats or how to get through them, but like the lore behind them, because that's something that I want to hear about. I want to hear about, why am I in this dungeon and what am I actually doing here? It was such a simple idea, but you did it. I mean, that's awesome.
Thanks.
I never looked at Encourage. I was one of those, I realized until I listened to your episode, I was like, oh, that's what Encourage is about. And it made me appreciate it better. Next time I run Encourage, I'm like, oh, wow, I know why they're here now. It made it come alive in a better way than I ever had.
Yep.
It's been fun because as much as I like to, know the strats and do the best I can do, get the loot and everything, like, I've always loved the lore. And I've always wondered, for example, in Encourage, like, why is Vasidius this goo like boss in the midst of all these bugs? Like, it made no sense to me. And I knew there had to be a reason. I had the idea for the podcast floating around in my head for a few months before I actually started it. And after I guested on World of Warcast, I can never say that one right. I got the podcasting itch, but to actually carry it out and to figure out what I was doing and how to edit and do everything I wanted to do with like the music and sound and stuff, like it took a while. And there's still some weeks where I second guess myself and wonder if I should keep doing it and if it's good enough. And it's been an adventure, and there were some weeks I almost quit, but it was through talking with Frazley and a couple other people that I was encouraged to not give up even when I really wanted to. So it's been 6 months of an adventure for sure, and I'm excited for this new year. It'll be good.
And what is the best piece of advice anyone has ever given you?
Gosh, there's so many. I would have to say the one that sticks out the most was actually from you, when at one point you actually encouraged me that it's okay to be human and to like my human side. Because I think it was an episode that said a story about my dog, my German Shepherd, or I tried to go off script or something. I can't remember what it was now, but you like encouraged me that it was okay to be human. And, I tend to be a perfectionist. Like, I don't expect anyone else to be a perfectionist, but like, I try my best to be a perfectionist, like you were saying, Techie. And it's scary trying to do a podcast and create content in general when you are a perfectionist. And then the thought also of putting it out there into the world and not knowing how others are going to respond to it and worrying, is it going to be good enough? And that anxiety and thinking that in general, I wasn't good enough was constantly there and is still constantly there. And just you encouraging me that it's okay to be human and that we're all human and you're allowed to show that human side. It definitely stuck with me and kind of helped me to not be quite so hard on myself when I am a little more human, and it helped. So thank you.
I think it was 2017. I'm trying to remember which episode it was, but I had Metal X Pearl on, and Metal X Pearl told me that the reason that they listened to the show was that I made mistakes. And I was like, whoa. And then I was like, well, why did they listen to a show that makes mistakes when they want to listen to a show that has everything go right? And they said it's that human side. They felt a personality to me. They were like, okay, I make mistakes. This podcast makes mistakes. I think we actually have stuff in common.
Yeah, like I got too intimidated in the beginning. I've spent years listening to all these fantastic podcasts, and I never believed I would be good enough to podcast in general. So I didn't want to allow myself in the beginning to be human. And so it took a little bit, and I'm still learning that it's okay to be human, but it's a work in progress, and I'm getting there.
Find a show that you love, buy it on DVD or Blu-ray or something. And what's the first thing that you want to look at least I do, is the blooper reel. You want to see these people.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You want to see these people be real. You want to see them watch anything that's live on TV, like watch anything that you love. When they show like a human side, that's your human connection, understanding and relating to them. So I totally agree. Like, as you were explaining about like wondering if you would be good enough, I kept getting the mental image of like being podcasters or, YouTubers or online creators or streamers or whatever the case may be. It's just another form of making art, being a painter is what I kept thinking about. And like any artist, musicians, poets, whatever, they're going to have that exact same fear. Is my work that I'm doing good enough for other people? And in the end, it doesn't matter. You're doing it for yourself. And it's when you let go and start doing it for yourself instead of pleasing others is when that really starts to come out. And I think that's medicine that we all need to take. It's like, I still find myself, how is the LB community going to react to this? But at the same time, it's like, I know it's going to be awesome and I'm just going to go with it. Or my own community, that whatever, you know what I mean? I'm just, the LB is the first thing I thought of, but like, that's where we truly shine, is when we show our humanity and show our mistakes. I
was watching the Santa Claus at the end of, I think it was 2, they had a blooper reel. And I'm like, Tim Allen flubbed his lines. I was like, okay, good. He does the same stuff that I hear my recordings of, like, today on the love.
So what you're saying, Fraz, is you're going to keep everything in from the pre-show of you goofing off and messing around. You're going to keep that all in the show. That's what I'm hearing?
No, I actually learned something. Episode 1 of this show taught me that I don't have to keep everything in. There's audio that I will drop from shows and stuff like that. But I used to believe I had to have everything online. So that's actually why we have the Faux Cryptid episode 1, hour 1. I don't know why I ever did that. I'll never do that ever again. Yeah. I tried listening to that because I was like, okay, for this upcoming podcast, I have to listen to the first episode. I was like, do I listen to the hour 1? I could only make 3 minutes. And I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
So truth be told, Frazley, way back when you first asked me on, I went back and listened to that hour 1. I made it longer than you, in part because I'm easily amused and crazy and it was funny, and in part because it was just kind of interesting to see how it all worked out and trying to figure it all out, and it was definitely felt corrupted. But if anything, I'm really proud of you for putting that out, because again, it kind of goes back to showing that human side, and it shows where you've come from then and how you've grown, and not everyone is willing to show that. So I think that's great.
Oh, thank you. You made me blush.
Not just Techie making you blush.
No.
Yeah, Techie always makes me blush.
Oh.
He's got skills.
Oh keep
my.
Coming.
I was trying to get it where I could repeat myself on this, and it wasn't working.
I know. I saw you struggling.
Okay, I'm just going to...
Struggling with those knobs and levers.
Knobs and levers.
I got a
Keep it in, Frazley. Keep it in.
Okay.
Okay. Show the human side. So along with all the stuff that goes into podcasting, what is one hidden pitfall with podcasting that prevents people from succeeding?
One, it's hard to pick one. I think one that was truly hidden to me was the amount of time it would take, because I wasn't expecting one episode to take 10 to 12 hours in total to make, between show prep and editing some more and editing some more. And it's definitely a time commitment. You really have to be passionate about it. Like you have to, like Techie was saying, like you have to want to do it for you and not for the listeners. Like you have to want to do it for you. Otherwise, you're not going to make it, because it is a time commitment and it's an energy commitment. And you have to be on that consistent schedule if you want to try to gain those followers. And it takes all that time. And it's definitely, yeah, I'd have to say that was probably the biggest hidden pitfall.
I'm with you on that. It was one of those, I thought like I could record like an hour on a Thursday night and upload it and be done with it. But I wasn't happy with the quality, so then I kept editing, and now it's like my weekends are editing, depending on the episode. But it was one of those, there was a moment I was like, is it worth it? But yeah, no, it's worth it. It's worth it. Like tonight I'm talking to both of you, and it's people that I admire, and it's been one of the blessings of being the podcaster. But I'm glad no one told me ahead of time, and anybody who's listening who wants to start a podcast, don't at all listen to the fact that we mentioned editing as a part of it. Just know that it's perfect. It won't take up all your time. Yeah, do it.
I think the biggest thing that stops a lot of people from podcasting or doing anything is that first barrier of entry. I got this great idea for this thing. I'm going to try it, right? So the first off, they have to make the commitment to try it, and then they'll get their feet wet. They'll realize, okay, I have to buy this equipment, or I have to do this thing, or whatever the case may be, and then I'm going to try it. So right there, you knock off a third of the people that are, I don't have time to do that. And then you have those people that try it and then fail and then give up. Those people are the ones that, they followed through with the commitment. They made the New Year's resolution, whatever it is. They actually go through with their commitment to do it and then realize it's not worth the time. They're doing it for the wrong reasons. Didn't realize how much went into it. It's not, their heart's not in it, whatever the case may be. And whether they're right or wrong, they just decide that it's not for them. But then you have those people that, I like to use the analogy of like falling forward. Instead of falling backwards and just giving up, they fall forward. Like you said, Frazley, you listened to that first podcast. You were like, you know what? This isn't good enough. I know I can do better. And you decide to get back up and keep going. And it takes a while before you can learn to stand up on your own as a podcaster, as a streamer, as a YouTuber, as a creator of any media, and learn how to get where you're wanting to go. I think that's the evolution of what makes a podcaster or a YouTuber, getting past the criticisms, getting past the trolls, getting past whatever the case may be. And just, what are you doing this for? Are you doing this for the viewers? Are you doing it for the subs? Are you doing it for yourself? And is it worth it? Is it working? All those things.
And that was one of the hidden benefit that I found of podcasting, was all of the fact that I might not be playing WoW if it wasn't for podcasting. Podcasting actually gave me a better love for WoW through it. And it's that work I put into it. I don't want to give up it now. And it's helped me find that community.
Right. Totally agree.
Well, I have no segue. So I was asking the community, what is one thing you want to challenge yourself to do this year? We got a enter from Walkin99 on Twitter, and they want to make it to next year. And I think that is a great one.
I think we all do.
Yeah, that helps. Yeah.
And then Allie.
So I said in Discord that in game, I want to finally get my water strider mount. I don't have it. Like, I worked on that Peggle rep for a little while, but never actually completed it. That and finally getting my Horde alt to 120 are like my big like in-game goals this year. And out of game, main. Just
sorry,
my Horde main.
Yeah.
in Blood of the Scribe.
Yeah.
On Boulderfist US. Out of game, it's kind of generic, but just to be less afraid of stepping out of my bubble. I'm at the point where I liken it to when you go to a party and you don't know what to do with your hands or your arms, and you're just like standing there and you're like, do you put them in your pocket? Do you fold your arms? Like, I feel super awkward right now with like where I am outside of my bubble, and I keep getting pushed further outside of that bubble. So I want to try and be less afraid of being outside of my cozy bubble.
I definitely understand that. I potentially got asked to do a podcast for an organization. I'm like, can I do it? Can I add it to my stuff? I'm like, no, I can do it. It'll actually take me out of my bubble, but that is the hardest thing to get out of the bubble. And then Techie, how about you?
I honestly don't know. I want to start making healthier choices. Not that I want to do the whole losing weight thing or anything like that, but towards the end of last year, I made the decision to stop drinking caffeine. One day I was like, you know what, I'm over this. And I just stopped. It was in October, like beginning or mid-October. And I just started drinking water, and that was it. And I'm still doing that. I'm still on that kick. Other than like, I'll have like, a beer or a V8 or whatever. But like, I don't drink pop anymore. And I want to see, at first it was like, I just want to give this up and not really have an end game. I want to get through feeling gross when I drink pop. And then it became a thing of like, oh, I can actually do this and keep going with it. Now I want to see how long I can go with it. So I guess the first thing would be like just eating healthier and take the next step of like, okay, well, now that I've done this thing with the pop, what else can I do? Maybe I can start walking every day, or maybe I can start making better, eating habit decisions. So maybe that. I want to get my hands dirty with more projects, essentially. I had so much fun working on the things that I have worked on. I just want to get back into it. That's all it is, too. In college, I made my reels, my editing reels, my portfolio, all these different things. And it was a lot of fun seeing the work that I had done in the past and putting together. And I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to look at the end of 2019 and put together this like portfolio. I want to look at all these projects that I got to work on throughout the year and put together and say, this is what I've accomplished this year.
I like that.
I'm excited to see what these projects are, because you did a fantastic job with the community photo collage. Like it turned out so good. So I know whatever else you're thinking about working on, it'll be amazing.
Thanks.
Yeah, that collage was amazing. I'm not just saying it because I was in it like 20 times, but that collage, it was so cool seeing everybody's picture in that collage.
Yeah, that idea came from Thorn, actually. He posted a picture in the selfies channel, and he's like, okay, today let's post selfies with items. And it was like everybody's posted pictures with different things, like holding up different things. I was like, that's so cool. Like the idea came like, I want to put together. And it came from like, I'm always thinking about like, what can I tweet about today for the LB? Like, what can I engagement? What can I pull from the audience and stuff like that? And I was like, what if I put together all the pictures from today and like see and show how great the Discord channel is and the community is? And then I was like, wait a minute, let's just expand that idea from not just today, but like this community in large. And that's when I messaged him. I was like, hey, what do you guys think about this project? And they were both like on board. They were both immediately was like, yep, let's do it. I love it. Go for it. And she literally said like, quote, this is your baby, go do it, or something like that. And I was just like, okay. And it was the first time that she really like, or they really like put more emphasis or like gave complete control to me. Cause usually I'll come up with an idea, I'll run it by them, and then they'll say, yeah, what about this? We'll try this, and we'll collaboration. But this was like, she was just like, nope, go for it. All yours. It was really nervous because I wasn't sure if it was going to flop. I didn't know if people were going to submit to it. It turned out really great. I didn't know the final product. I thought it was going to be a huge bummer. And then when I saw the entries come in, I was like, how am I going to put this together? I'm not too good with Photoshop. I don't know. So it was just like a huge undertaking. And then it was one of those things that kind of just fell into my lap and worked out perfectly. So.
And did you say that you've learned a skill from this? Not
necessarily with that. I learned where I can easily make a montage on the internet or a collage. I don't know. I pick up stuff every once in a while, and you'll pick up skills. And like I said before, it might not be applicable at that moment, but 2 months from now, I might need to do something, be like, oh, where did I find that thing in searching for the other thing? And then I'll come across it again.
That's awesome. Because, and that kind of fits into what I want to challenge myself for this year, is to not worry ahead of time. I had a camp counselor who would always tell me, participate, don't anticipate. I was that one kid always saying, hey, what are we doing next? 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 Hey, what are we doing next? 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 And it was like, listen, I won't tell you anything. You just enjoy it. And I actually had a great time at camp because I let go.
Yeah.
And like problems may arise, like tonight, problems may arise, but I tend to worry too much. And usually the problems never arise. And when they do, I can fix them.
Yeah. I think that's another thing that you kind of learn as you start streaming more and more is like, if something happens, you just roll with it. You don't freak out. You're like, oh, it's not this perfect thing anymore. Like there's a quote that I heard from Pixar. I think it was Pixar. I mean, maybe it's not a quote. I don't know. I'm terrible with quotes, I should say. But I heard this thing about Pixar that says they have this philosophy to be the first to mess up. And what that means is immediately mess up on something. And that way you just get it out of the way, get it out of your system. You're not worried about it being perfect. And then you just go from there. You know, you're not afraid of messing up down the road. And I always thought that was kind of cool.
That actually was something that I realized for listening to episode 1. It was like, I messed up episode 1, so I'm good. So now I need further mess ups.
Now you just need to learn how to not summon old gods.
Yeah.
Yes. I've learned never to mention drop frames.
What you just did.
Oh, I learned to never mention frames.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both for joining me on FrazlCast tonight. I had a great time. I laughed a lot and I blushed a lot, and I facepalm a lot, made people facepalm. So where can we find you on the interwebs?
I am on Twitter at Techie Taco. I just recently got an Instagram, and I am not Techie Taco on Instagram. I am Techie.taco, and that's total BS. I wish I had a bleep button, but no, I decided to get Instagram because everybody's been posting on there. I was like, I want to try it out. And then I got the Techie Taco thing, and I looked it up, and it said it's already taken. And I looked who the user was, and it's like this person in, I think, New York or something, who like writes code and is completely awesome and a very nice person. And I was like, dang it, I can't be mad at you, and whatever. I'm going to just mumble and grumble. Yeah. So I'm techie.taco on Instagram is my new thing. And then twitch.tv/techie-taco. And of course, the Lagging Balls Discord, naturally, of course. And the Lagging Ball, I'd be amiss if I didn't mention Lagging Balls, twitch.tv/Lagging Balls.
Yes, somebody else on this podcast got in trouble when they forgot to mention a podcast on another podcast. Hey, Allie, do you know anything about that?
I'm getting so much better about talking about where to find me now. It's great. So you can find me on Twitter at AlliandersK. You can find my show on Twitter at Dungeon Fables, or you can listen at dungeonfables.com or anywhere you find your podcasts. And you can hear me weekly on all things Azeroth, so Medros doesn't get mad at me for getting to mention it.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't really have to do the .com. I just went to that. Yay!
Like, it still just redirects to Libsyn, but still it's easier to say dungeonfables.com versus .libsyn or whatever it was before.
Oh, absolutely. And in the future, if you ever do need to move, not that I recommend moving because Libsyn's amazing. I mean, I'm on Libsyn and Fireside. It's still cool to have that .com. And then at some point you could like add like an email like yo at budgetaples.com.
Maybe someday I'll be fancy enough for that.
And then like a number like
This is
That's just
dungeonfables.com.
dangerous.
Frazley, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you a hammer in the mail. It's going to have a picture of $100 gift card to Amazon. And if you tweet me a picture of that thing that you have that you keep pushing busted with that hammer, then I will send you that Amazon gift card for $100.
Well, funny story about that. My sister was betting me $25 iTunes gift card if I could go without my phone for a day. I've never gotten a $25 iTunes gift card from her.
Well, you're not going to get this $100 Amazon gift card either. So,
Well, I'm back in my home of Ironforge until we one day reclaim Nomergon. Well, that has been another packed episode of FrazlCast. Before we go, the 5th annual Ice Crown Challenge is happening to raise money for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. But I didn't get invincible. The Fleawild and Navox, who were in chat, I rounded up my stream time to 50 and I sent it in. Definitely check out this fun event. This is either my 2nd or 3rd year that I participated in this charity. Well, I am Frazley, and you can find the show at FrazlCast.com. Until next week, be awesome.
It's time to gather your sword and board. Let's enter the kitchen with food and fury. 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, Michael Height here. Just want to send a special thank you out to you guys. This is the end of Snacksroth for Season 1. We delivered you Warforged snacks each week with enough buffs to help you with your battle for Azeroth. Now we're far from over yet, but we're taking a little break here. Between the raid nights, the puns, the bad impressions, and dealing with Wintervale spirits, we had a lot to be thankful for. We have to go now to farm some mats and get ready for our next season. Big thanks to Fraz, Ali, Tosh, Amanda, and Ro, and so many more in helping us get you your well-fed buffs each week. We can't wait to join you again for Season 2, and we'll have details for you soon. All right, my friend of the Grummels. So I think that's going to do it for our Food Buff for All. With a little prep time before you log on, you too can enjoy delicious snacks. If you get a chance, check out our food and cooking podcast, Food and Fury. Each week on Food and Fury, we're bringing you a special dish to up your cooking game. No deal with Botswamdi required. You can find our show, social media, recipes, and much more at foodandfury.com. And of course, a big thanks to the one and only gnome that has Horde street cred, Frazley. We'll see you soon. Mage Portal. For the Horde, for the Alliance, and for the food. Bye-bye.
See you soon.
Welcome to the Fraz Report, a short podcast by me, the Awesome Gnome, about the World of Warcraft. So I've got an eggnog hangover from Wintervale. I can't help myself. It's just so good. And I ate a lot of food. I'm almost as round as a dwarf. I guess it's time for me to work off those pounds. So I saw some stuff trending on Twitter about Y2K19. So far, everything has been good. Nothing has broken. And I hope this year nothing else breaks, because this next year will be full of ups and downs. With Blizzard retiring items from the cash shop, I hope you got them, as they're pretty cool. I can't resist shinies. Sadly, HGC isn't happening, and Heroes of the Dorm got expelled. Good things are coming, though, with Mecha Gnomes, Mecha Dungeons, the Dark Moon roller coaster, and even a new expansion announcement at BlizzCon. There is one change that is coming in 2019. It'll be next week. It'll be patch 8.1.1. They'll be adding in a new method of entry into Island Expeditions. This all happened because someone commented on a tweet by Blizzard about January not having a lot of content. So Blizzard developers quickly watched YouTube Rewind to see what was trending on YouTube last year and to see what they can add into the game. And they saw that it opened with a Fortnite bus. Now, sadly, Will Smith will not be in the game, but that might change. But they'll be adding in flying airships as an entry into Island Expeditions. And this will be launching next week, as game development is just a few bits of code. I mean, there isn't a roadmap of at least 5 to 6 months to plan, code, test, and implement new features. I mean, come on. Sour Fang Cinematic was made within like 3 days to appease people about Sylvanas. This was all according to someone on Reddit. And then Alessandro linked to me an article about some of Blizzard's growth opportunities for the coming year. One of them involves in-game ads. We can already confirm that billboards are being erected in cities. Some of the advertisers coming will be McDonald's, Gnome Loops, Dairy Queen, Fry Cool Pizza, and Hot Topic. And there are more that are in negotiations. Blizzard is also looking at further ways to monetize the game, like a /coffee command to have coffee delivered to your house by Postmates, similar to the /pizza command with Pizza Hut in EverQuest 2. I was looking at the time to see if I was on track for recording, and I just noticed my computer clock is set to late December 1963. Oh, what a night it has been. I've been having a lot of computer issues. Okay, let me set the time to the correct date. I just have a funny feeling about this, though. Why did it take me so long to see the clock error?
Greetings, we are the Cyber Gnomes again. We are wishing to remind you all that we will be here soon. Frazley has no clue we interrupted the broadcast. We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming.
That was weird. I don't know what happened there. The computer blipped off for a few seconds, but it's back. Oh, well, the time is now set correctly, and it's time for me to sign off. Until next week, be awesome.
FrazlCast is a fan podcast that covers Blizzard games. We are not affiliated with Blizzard Entertainment. Views expressed by the host and guests are their own. Some of the art, music, and sound effects come from Blizzard games and are owned by Blizzard Entertainment, Inc. No copyright infringement is intended.
Want more awesomeness every week? Visit weeklyawesome.com. Weekly podcasts to make your week better. Remember to smile and be awesome.
This show is brought to you by Dragon Powered Studio. Find more at dragonpoweredstudio.com.